In a future where sunlight has faded and soil has turned acidic, all plant life has vanished. Earth no longer has fertile land, forests have disappeared, and deserts now dominate the landscape. With conditions deteriorating rapidly, the survival of humanity appeared hopeless. In response, a company called the UTS Corporation offered a solution: an artificial orbiting habitat that mimics Earth's natural environment. This man-made landmass orbits alongside Earth. However, UTS was not capable of building a habitat big enough for everyone. Only the rich, those who could afford UTS's services, were granted access to this new home, while the rest of the human population was left behind on the dying planet. Meanwhile, some humans known as space sweepers live in underdeveloped satellite colonies called orbits. These individuals risk their lives to scavenge space debris like abandoned satellites and wrecked spacecraft. They collect and sell this trash to the UTS warehouse to earn a living. UTS CEO James Sullivan publicly claims he sympathizes with the people still on Earth, but insists there's nothing he can do for them. Instead, he's focusing his efforts on building a new human civilization on Mars, which he hopes will become the next Earth. The story begins with a space sweeper named Kim Tae-ho arriving at the UTS Lost and Found warehouse, a facility where both objects and people recovered from orbit are kept. He is searching for a specific 7-year-old girl who was recently found dead. After paying the required fee using his magnetic shoes, Tae-ho is allowed to see the girl, but he's crushed to find out she is not the one he was hoping for. Tae-ho then returns to space and boards his ship, Victory. His crew includes Tiger Park, a former drug dealer, Bubs, an android, and their fearless leader, Captain Jang. They set off to intercept a derelict spaceship floating in orbit. Although other space sweepers are already competing to claim it, the Victory crew, thanks to Captain Jang's sharp leadership, successfully seizes the vessel. The crew hauls the captured ship to a waste processing facility, only to learn that the damage they caused during retrieval exceeds the ship's value. Hoping to cut costs, they decide to repair it themselves, but during the process, they make a shocking discovery. A young girl is alive inside the ship, dressed in a spacesuit. They rescue her and bring her aboard Victory, thinking they might receive a handsome reward from her parents. As they discuss how to return the girl and claim the reward, a breaking news broadcast reveals her identity. She is not a lost child at all, but an android named Dorothy, allegedly built by the terrorist organization Black Fox. The report claims she contains a powerful weapon of mass destruction. Upon learning that the girl is supposedly dangerous, the crew quickly distances themselves and starts discussing how to get rid of her. While going through Dorothy's device, Tae-ho sees several missed calls from a man named Hyunwoo Kang. He recognizes Kang as a UTS doctor and contacts him, demanding $1 million in exchange for the girl. To their surprise, Kang agrees. The crew is thrilled and decides to meet him in the commercial district. However, they are unaware that UTS CEO James Sullivan is secretly monitoring their conversation. James, who needs Dorothy for his Mars colonization plan, sends his men to retrieve her. Tae-ho and his crew head to the meeting point with Dr. Kang, only to discover that Dorothy is missing. She has wandered into a nightclub where everyone immediately recognizes her. Panic breaks out, and people flee the dance floor in fear, leaving Dorothy standing alone. Dr. Kang spots her and tries to reach her, but he is overwhelmed by the crowd. Meanwhile, space guards sent by James arrive and start shooting at Tae-ho. Dorothy instinctively uses her powers to form a protective shield around him, saving his life. The crew uses the distraction to escape and safely return to their ship with Dorothy. Back on board, the crew is unsure what to do. Despite the uncertainty, Tiger begins to bond with Dorothy and keeps her entertained. Captain Jang later discovers a drawing Dorothy made and feels emotionally moved. Slowly, the entire crew starts becoming attached to it. The next day, they're amazed to find a tomato plant growing on the ship. A small miracle, given the state of Earth's soil. Later, Bubs, the android, opens up to Dorothy about the crew's past. Tae-ho, once a respected space guard commander, was known as a UTS genius. He had worked directly with CEO James. During a mission, he found an abandoned baby, meant to be returned to Earth but chose to raise her instead. He named her Suni and treated her as his daughter. After that, he couldn't continue his duties, so James cast him out. Tae-ho ended up living in a poor orbit colony, homeless for a year. During a debris strike, he was separated from Suni and has since been trying to raise money to find her. Later, the crew receives an offer from someone willing to pay a large sum for Dorothy. Tae-ho prepares to accept, needing the money for his search. Tiger objects, worried about Dorothy's safety. Tae-ho insists he must prioritize his daughter. During their argument, someone kidnaps Dorothy from the bathroom. The crew chases the abductor, fights off his gang, rescues Dorothy, and unmasks the kidnapper, only to be stunned by who it is. The crew is shocked to discover that the man behind Dorothy's abduction is none other than Karam, the manager of the garbage disposal facility where they sell space debris. Captain Jang interrogates the kidnappers and uncovers the truth. Dorothy is not an android but a real human child. She was born with a severe congenital illness that left her immobile. In a desperate attempt to save her, Dr. Kang injected her with nanobots discovered in space debris. Not only did the nanobots heal Dorothy, but they also gave her incredible abilities. She can now communicate with other nanobots and even heal or enhance her surroundings, like the tomato plant growing in their ship. James, the UTS CEO, discovered her powers and used her to terraform Mars into a lush, green planet. Now that the mission is complete, he wants her dead. He's aware that Dorothy could restore Earth's fertility, which would make humanity independent of UTS and ruin his control. To prevent this, James built a hydrogen bomb and labeled Dorothy a threat to humanity. His plan is to detonate the bomb, wiping out Earth's population and forcing humans to migrate to Mars, where UTS can continue its dominance. The crew also learns that Karam and his team are actually part of a group called Black Fox, an environmentalist movement. However, James has manipulated the narrative and falsely branded them as terrorists. His intention is to blame them for the hydrogen bomb attack, giving him an excuse to carry out the massacre. As the team absorbs this revelation, James's space guards arrive at the orbit, forcing the crew to flee once again. They narrowly escape, but are chased into a dangerous nanobot-infested zone. Dorothy uses her abilities to communicate with the swarm, saving the ship, but the effort causes her to pass out. Tiger performs CPR and successfully revives her. She wakes up with a fart, breaking the tension and making everyone laugh in relief. The crew reaches out to the Black Fox group and arranges for Dorothy to reunite with Dr. Kang. The two ships meet, and the little girl finally embraces her father. It's a heartwarming moment, until James's guards suddenly attack. Dr. Kang and the entire Black Fox group are killed. James appears in person, hands Tai-Ho and the crew $4 million for keeping Dorothy alive, and leaves with the girl. He also instructs his men to keep surveillance on the crew. Tiger insists they must rescue Dorothy, but Tai-Ho wants to use the money to find his own daughter. The two argue until Captain Jang intervenes, suggesting they each follow their hearts. Inspired by memories of Suni, Tai-Ho ultimately decides to join the crew in rescuing Dorothy. They all prepare for the mission ahead. Fully prepared and using every skill they've got, the crew takes on the space guards who are firing at them relentlessly. Despite the danger, the Victory manages to break through and reach the facility where Dorothy is being held. They find the young girl frightened and tied to a chair, right next to the hydrogen bomb. Captain Yang quickly calculates that the blast radius will destroy everything within several hundred kilometers. Though they have time to flee, the team can't abandon Earth knowing they have a chance to save billions. Instead of running, they send out a call to every fellow space sweeper for backup. With their help, they manage to break free from the heavily guarded facility and put enough distance between them and the bomb. A massive space battle breaks out between the sweepers and the UTS guards. One by one, the guards are taken down until only a single ship remains, piloted by James himself. Captain Jang uses the moment to broadcast James's entire scheme live to the world, exposing his plan to wipe out Earth and manipulate humanity. Now, with the truth out, James chases down the Victory ship, thinking Dorothy is still on board. But when he boards it, he finds the hydrogen bomb instead. In a last act of bravery, the crew had secretly swapped Dorothy out, sending her away with the other sweepers, and stayed behind with the bomb to prevent global destruction. The bomb detonates, destroying James's ship along with the Victory, or so it seems. When the dust settles, it's revealed that Dorothy had used her powers to send nanobots to protect the crew. Everyone survives. With James gone and his plan crushed, Earth begins to heal. Fertile lands return, thanks to Dorothy's unique abilities. She even helps Tai-Ho finally reunite with his daughter, Suni. The crew resumes their work as space sweepers, now flying in an upgraded ship, richer than before, and with Dorothy as their newest team member.